gotta grow bold, man, we cannot hesitate. We are athletes for Christ, man, we gotta go out. We are athletes for Christ, man, we gotta go out.
Welcome to the Athletes for Christ podcast.
Today I'm here with Mariella Davis. She's a junior at Buford High School where she participates in competition, sideline, and game day cheer. She serves as a leader on the FCA Buford leadership team and dreams of one day becoming a pediatric nurse or pursuing a career in children's health care.
Today I'm here with Ella Pierce Hensley, where she attends Buford High School, where she's been involved for years as a dedicated student athlete and FCA leader. She recently committed to Liberty University to play softball as an outfielder and hitter, and she dreams of one day becoming an anesthesiologist assistant. Ready to answer some questions?
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could give one message to other high school girls trying to live boldly for Christ in sports or school, what would it be?
I would say every day just give it to the Lord and trust that each day He's going to put you in a position to honor and glorify Him and just share His name. And I would also say just surround yourself with people that are pouring into you and encourage you in your faith, because it's going to be hard to do that on your own.
Mm-hmm. We always say on our team, be fountains, not drains. So, pour into other people, don't drain them out.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. You got it?
What's something people don't see behind the highlight reels, a struggle or discipline that shapes who you are today?
Nice. I guess just kind of everybody has a story. Everybody has their own testimonies, and when you walk into the gym or when you walk onto the field, you leave it all out. You can't bring your emotions onto the field or onto the mat. And some days it gets really hard. Mm-hmm. You just want to sit there and not live in your feelings, but kind of just dwell in them. Mm-hmm. But when you walk onto the mat, you have no other option but to be with your team. And social media makes teams and people and sports look so glorified. Mm-hmm. And so just kind of amped up of what they really are. So I think just everybody has their own testimony, and definitely reminding myself that I'm not the only one who could be struggling. There's a lot of people who are coming in here with smiles on their faces who are actually need to be prayed for, such as stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really good.
You got anything?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Ella Pierce, what is one lie culture tells young women about identity or success that you've had to unlearn through your relationship with Jesus?
I would say that your identity is what you do. We were kind of talking about this. Mm-hmm. Just when you're introducing yourself to somebody and you're like, my name's Ella Pierce Hensley, and they're like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
And your identity is automatically tied to your name.
Uh-huh.
I would say in your sport, yeah. And I would say just having to constantly remind yourself that your identity is only found in God and your relationship with Him. So I just make a conscious effort every day, every time I step on the field, every time I pick up a bat, just reminding myself that this is not who you are, it's what you do. Mm-hmm. And I even have that written on my mirror, because there was a point in time where I was just so caught up in where I was going to go to college, or if I was going to go to college, and softball started to consume my life. Mm-hmm. So I've just every day just reminded myself and prayed that God would just tell me and give me hints, just things in life that remind me that He is my identity, and it's not me or what I do or where I'm going, which is also a big deal in society today. Just it doesn't matter where you're going to college if you feel that college is the right fit for you, not feeling the pressure to go to some D1 school or some school in the SEC just to say you're going there.
Right.
I would say that was a big reason as to why I committed to Liberty, just to surround myself with people that are like-minded, that are pouring into me, that support my walk with God. And that's a place where I feel like I'm going to pursue my faith even more and grow in my faith with people that are trying to do the same.
And Liberty's a good place to do that too.
Yeah.
We were talking about how like cheering for 13 years and doing softball for what, 12 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all you do. Like that's all I knew for the longest time was practice every day, even on Sundays, having to skip church because of practice, having to like not hanging, being able to like see friends, like definitely hinders friendships and family relationships. And like, that's all I knew though.
Right.
Because I did it for 13 years of my life. So it's all I did. So like, after finding the point of like, I feel like everyone's been through a headspace of like, do I even like this anymore? Like, do I actually want to do this anymore? Like,
Right.
But I think that's where God comes in and says like, I gave you this love for a reason. And like, how are you going to use my relationship, like me and God's relationship, and also pursue a sport? Mm-hmm. So like after dividing those, I feel like that's what was how like my relationship started.
Yeah.
Was being able to have a relationship with God, but also being able to play a sport at the same time.
Yeah, that's really good. I would say the same. Just that constant reminder that your relationship with God is your identity, your faith found in Him is your identity, and nothing else.
Right. Yeah.
How has being part of FCA or your church community changed the way you view leadership and influence?
I would definitely say being on the FCA team is a really big accountability role. Like, there's people constantly coming up to me wherever I am, like, oh, you're on the leadership team, right? Or, oh, you're involved with FCA, right? Like, there's people constantly knowing who you are, knowing what you believe, and, like, definitely, we were talking about this earlier, like, it definitely holds you accountable for what you're doing, or what you're saying, or who you're around, and, like, what you get involved in. Like, you're definitely held to a higher standard in that sort of area.
Yeah, there's definitely like a target on your back wherever you go, especially at school. You make one wrong move and everybody's like, well, she's on the FCA leadership.
Yeah.
Or in the church, like people are going to be quick to judge, even though we're called to not be judgmental, because God is the final judge and we're just called to love each other. But our sinful nature is what our first impression of somebody is going to be judged. Like, you're going to be judging people. And that's something that I've really had to work on, especially that FCA's taught me, is like, you're not the final judge. It's not your place to be judging other people.
FCA is like a good reminder.
Yeah.
It's also like, which Miss Girl actually knows where she's going to college. I do not. I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing after high school. But FCA is a good, like, I guess, stability platform.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot. We, this year, have worked really hard to build our relationships with an FCA. Like, not just necessarily how our relationship looks on the outside, but, like, how can we all work together to be friends and also work for the betterment of this club? And, like, I guess just, like, having friends that I know have my back 24/7 every single day, every day of the week. Like, that is definitely what our FCA team is. Like, a lot of friendships, a lot of, like, diversity, I would say. Like, before this, I don't think half of us were necessarily friends. Like, a lot of us have a lot of different friend groups, but, like, we know at the end of the day we can all come back together.
For sure. Yeah. It's that stability role, like you said. Yeah, that was a really good way to put it, because like we talked about before, it's that target on your back everywhere you go, and you're called to reflect God's love and show that you are a follower at every time you step out of your house, in your house, like you're called to show that love to others. So that's been a big deal in my life, especially recently, just knowing that God's love is everywhere, even in places that you aren't thinking, like in your friendships, in your closest friendships, you are called to show God's love, because typically that's the place where people just let their guard down and you can say whatever you want. But in reality, like what you're putting out and what you're sharing with each other, that you're influencing each other. So you want to be influencing each other in the right place and in the right path.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Your turn? Can't remember if it's your turn or my turn. I think it's yours. I don't remember.
what's one prayer you've seen God answer in a way you didn't expect, maybe even through disappointment?
I think this kind of comes with a lot of like other questions, like after being on making Matt my freshman year on varsity, like it was the teachers were emailing me, people were texting me, like you're held up to like, oh, you're a freshman on varsity, like this like look, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then like becoming an alternate my sophomore season was probably one of my part of like what my testimony is. And then like being back on my junior year, like that like you think while you're in it, like, how is this happening to me? I've said a lot of times to myself, like, why is God doing this to me? Like, why am I watching all of my best friends compete, yet like I feel like I have nothing to give? But like that year for me was such an answered prayer, like getting that rest and getting that, like, I mean, after 13 years, that's all you do. That's all you know.
Right.
So like getting the rest and getting the like being able to, that's definitely where I found or questioned myself. Like, do I actually even like this sport? Like I questioned trying out this year, and this year has been one of the best that I've had in like 13 years. So like definitely finding where my identity was like God's intention for my life. Like I knew while I was in it that something was going to come out of it. Like I couldn't see the path, obviously, because while you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But I definitely like seeing the intentionality now of like what God was doing in my life was such an answered prayer. Like that year for me.
Yeah, I would say we both went through the same struggle sophomore year, just because in softball we had a big group of seniors, very impactful group of seniors leave that year. So my sophomore year, we were trying to kind of rebuild what we were going to do and rebuild the team, what the starting nine was going to look like. And going into that year, I wasn't really thinking I was going to be a starter, but we were kind of on the fence about a few things. So I was like, I have a chance to prove myself. And that was kind of a struggle for me, just my journey in softball. That was definitely a rough patch, just trying to work through all of that. And each game was uncertainty for me. And just giving that to the Lord really showed me that, like, this is a game to honor and glorify Him. It's not a game to show who you are or show what kind of person you are. So I kind of just found a balance and just really trusting that God's got me each game. And that's where our team this year, we pray before the games twice. We pray as a team and then as a little group. Most of the starters do that prayer, and it has really helped all of us, just knowing that we all have got each other. And yeah,
I think like academics wise too, that plays a part in it. Like sophomore year, like just like in our small group was probably one of the hardest years for all of us. And definitely academics plays like a chance in that too. So like seeing God work through that and sports and through so many other things.
For sure.
Ready for a protein shake?
Mm-hmm.
And try it. It's honestly really good.
That's really good.
Yeah. It's really cool. I was just saying, like, the Bible verses on the bottle. Like, I guess that's like a good reminder too at the same time. Like, what you're creating is also like what God's plan has for you.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, answer the question.
Yeah.
While we sip on our protein shake. In a world that celebrates achievements, how do you remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to wins or stats? In wins or stats.
I would say, just like we've said, I think this whole time, just knowing that your identity is not found in your sport. And I keep repeating that for a reason, because that's been something that I've struggled with, especially throughout high school. Just because at Buford, athletics is a huge part of our culture and what our school is building and what has been built before us. So I have it written on, I have a lot of things written on my mirror, but just each day reminding myself when I'm getting ready that today is an opportunity to reflect the Lord, and it's not about who you are or what you do or getting your name out there, which is a big thing that culture tells us we should do, like on TikTok or Instagram, like what following do you have, or what kind of posts are you making? And I've just had to remind myself that with the struggles that my sport is going to throw at me, which softball is a game of failure, you're set up to fail more than you succeed. The same with baseball, just knowing that that's how the game is going to go, and just trying to find the little things that are going to bring me joy, like being with people that I love. Like this team this year has brought me so much joy, and we all love each other. The goal is to win state this year, which we think can happen. And just enjoying the game, enjoying the ups and the downs, which is really hard to, especially at a game where you're not doing so well, but just trying to find joy with the Lord and knowing that it's your job and your role each day to reflect God's love and just support people that are doing well, or be there to comfort the people that aren't doing as well as you.
I was saying, going back to like the Buford stigma, like, what do you think of like, oh yeah, schools are really big on sports, like up that by 20. Like, it's difficult. Like, a lot of people don't go into sports at Buford because of the stigma around like having to be the best and like the pressure of it. And like, I've seen a lot of people step away from sports that they love just because like where we are as a school holds so much, like you're held to such a higher standard. And I think that can be good and bad depending on how you use it. Like I've said, like I've seen a lot of people just walk away from something they love because they can't handle the pressure, or they can't handle like when we have meetings at school or we have like sports meetings, like we talk about our stats and we talk about winning and we talk about what we do to win, and like just like the pressure of so many state medals and so many state championships and so many like where we've placed, like I feel like that's all we talk about.
Yeah.
But depending on how you use that, like we were talking about in the car, the process that it takes to get to your end goal should be what you find your joy in rather than the end goal. So like we talk about like at practices, like, or what I said, like you can't bring your outside world onto the mat, but you can find joy in like, okay, this is what I'm enjoying. This is what I'm doing to glorify the Lord. And we were just talking about, or I think you just posted something like what'd you say, your your sport is your ministry also, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing is also God's work in your life too. So like glorifying that and finding joy in that, I would think.
Yeah. That's been just a huge part of my everyday life. Just knowing that as an upperclassman, like you're kind of given this role as like being a leader on the team and pouring into the younger ones, pouring into the ones just generally on the team. And just knowing that each day you step on the field, each day at practice or in the weight room, just knowing that this sport is your ministry, this is what God's called you to do, this is the plan that he has for you right now. And you can have an end goal, you can have a huge goal, whether that's getting to college or playing in the major leagues or whatever your dream is, but you just have to trust his plan for you right now. That's what he wants you to focus on, and that's what he wants you to be using as a way to honor him.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people say like, oh yeah, I just like kind of just want to win. Like we have a really good chance of winning. We have like this and that, but God's going to give you the process and he's going to give you the discipline and he's going to lay it all out for you. And like, it's not like, I mean, we don't like choose to win. Like it's not an option, but like consistency and discipline is going to get you to where God wants you to get, like wants or knows that your end goal, like what it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've asked so many.
I feel like we've backed each other off a lot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, you know.
What's one moment in your athletic journey where your faith was really tested, and how did you get through it?
I would say a lot of injuries. Like injuries kind of get me back on track with my faith. I feel like sometimes I'm really on, or other times it's like, well, I'm too tired, or I'm not really feeling it. And after injuries, it's just been a way of getting me back, fixing my eyes back on the Lord. Like this summer, I had my left quad was injured, and it also like went into my knee. And then kind of got off that and was able to like work through it. It never really like got healed. I never really got to go to the doctor or anything because this year was our recruitment year, so I couldn't really miss any tournaments. So it was just like back to back to back. We went from like Kansas City to Colorado, California. We played in Atlanta. So there was never really time to recover, but going through that really taught me just like each day you're going to be challenged with something, and whether that challenge is internally, physically, it's just a way of it's just how you're going to respond to it. So I feel like I was just able to fix my eyes on the Lord and realize that this sport isn't who I am. It's not my identity, but it's how I respond, the way I'm reflecting God's love, and it's just a way to honor and glorify him.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the way here. I think that, like I said, becoming an alternate my sophomore year, I was so blinded by everything that was like actually going on in my life. Like I felt like I lived in this bubble that like, oh my gosh, like I'm an alternate, I can't compete with my friends. Like I was really struggling on the academic side of being a student athlete, and like actually seeing now what I didn't see then was a really, like, God intentionally put that in my life for a reason. And like that season of life,
For sure.
for us, I think that, again, I think just like being a student athlete comes with a lot of hardships too. Like again, you're held to a higher standard. You're friends wise, a lot of people strive to find their friends in the athletes part of being a student athlete, and like, but there's so much more. I feel like there's such a bigger purpose that we have, and like we're not guaranteed tomorrow or the next week, but like I am guaranteed right now. So like finding my right now, or like
Right.
finding my stability,
Right.
and like who I am and what my heart is,
Yeah.
has been such a testimony
Yeah.
throughout the.
Right. And obviously you're going to be challenged with something each day, but I would say that we are on the other side of
Yeah.
like a really big challenge in high school. I would say both of our sophomore years, they were rough. And like you said, like balancing academics, like that was that was a rough patch for me.
We went through a pretty.
That was a rough patch.
Yeah.
And like math really hit me last year.
Which,
and
even so, like, we've always been. I've been
straight A.
Yeah. I
straight
don't.
A, like,
Which, parents wise, it's different. Like,
Yeah.
but like, I put so much pressure on myself to be a student athlete and to be a good one at best. And like, when I
Right.
do something, I want to be the best at it, or
Right.
be as good as I can at it. So like, last year having that, like, oh my gosh, I have a B, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, not having a level head, like, definitely added tension
right.
to like what I could see.
Right. And last year was also a chance and an opportunity for me to see like the teachers aren't really allowed to share their faith and push it on to people, but it's
Right.
like you can see through that. You can see like really where someone's heart is. And like my math teacher from sophomore year and freshman year,
Right.
like they had my back, and
Yeah.
I really
Absolutely.
wasn't supposed to move out of that class, but they kept fighting for me, and they knew that honors wasn't the place for me, and they could see like the toll it was taking on me. So just like realizing that other people are gonna have your back, and like you, like we kind of helped each other through last year, and like being on the bench or being an alternate, and the ebbs and flows of academics at Buford, and like
Pressures.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Very scary.
As a young Christian woman, what's your view on modesty, and how do you navigate that?
That's such a loaded question. Like, obviously, when you put on your uniform, that is your uniform. You know what I'm saying? It's like the shield of God. Like, when you put, which you should always have the shield of God, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that is your uniform.
Right.
That is what I'm doing, and like who I represent. Like, having a Buford cheer shirt on, like, you have no question of what I am or who I am. I think that we were talking about this earlier. The culture we live in now, and the society we live in now, like, there's a lot of things that we don't believe in. Like, a lot of what I wear, like, what you wear reflects who you are in your heart, is what I was saying earlier. Like, we talk a lot about, like, if in my heart, like, what I believe is going to come out of my mouth. So in my heart, if I believe that I'm a strong Christian woman, I'm a strong student athlete, then that is what I should be. That is what people should see me as on the outside.
Right.
Yeah, definitely the society we live in now, it's very, I mean, honestly, unmodest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what people wear on a daily basis,
Right.
very honestly, just blows my mind. like,
Yeah.
Which
like,
I
what's
have-
in is not what's in with modesty.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I have amazing parents, and like I think that holds you accountable.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that I look at a lot of clothes sometimes, and I'm like, all right, hold on, I'm about to sneeze. I think I look at a lot of things sometimes, and I'm just like, I know that if I put that on right now, like, people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely choosing, like, again, like, what you wear is what people see, and like what they see is what they're gonna think.
Right. How you grow up is also just a huge aspect of how
Agreed.
you're going to live your life from now on.
Agreed.
And one thing that my parents always said to me, like growing up, especially middle school, because I feel like that's where you're kind of learning how to do life on your own. Like, you're kind of learning that freedom, but you're also obviously within the walls of your house.
You're more open.
Yeah, you don't have the luxury of driving yet, but you're kind of learning how to be on your own and how to make decisions for yourself.
Right.
And one thing my parents always told me was, if you wear that, are you going to talk to Pastor Stephen? Like, are you going to talk to your pastor
Love Pastor
at your
Stephen.
church? And like,
or it's like, would you say that in front of your grandma? Like, stuff, things like that. Yeah.
And like, that's the questions I still ask myself, like, when I'm going to like hang out with my friends, or like we're going to just like shop around. Like, are you gonna wear this? Do you feel comfortable wearing
if you were to
this?
see
If you were to
Pastor
see
Stephen?
yeah.
I would agree with that. Like, kind of saying like, oh, would you say that in front of your grandma, or would you have that conversation in front of your grandma? It kind of is the same thing.
Right.
Definitely being intentional with, obviously, like, there's a lot of things, obviously, that like we could all have done better.
Right.
But seeing that now, of being on the side of, just like, yeah, like, would you wear that in front of people who care deeply for you?
Right.
Or people who know what your intentions are, and like wanting others to see what your intentions are.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Last question. Last one, best one. How do you handle the pressure to perform when everyone's watching, whether it's on the field, on social media, or even in church?
That's really hard. Not trying to tie this into Buford, like, or put Buford on a pedestal above other places, because everybody's fighting the same battle.
Like we said earlier, everybody has their own.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say, if you were to ask anybody around the Buford community, like, Buford holds their students to such a high standard. That's academics, arts, athletics, all of it. Like, they expect excellence. Like, that's literally something they tell us every day. Like,
it's AAA excellence. Yeah.
Like, they expect excellence. So it's hard if you feel like you're not reflecting that, or like you're not good enough. And especially on the softball team, like, we've built a very, very successful culture, and that came from the people before me. So trying to live up to that. And I feel like my sophomore year, I was like, I'm not good enough to be on the field with these people. Like, we had all D1 commits, like Boston College, Ole Miss, Louisville, LSU, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Florida. We have a girl on the team now. She played for Team USA. Like, it's hard when you're constantly fighting that battle of whether you're good enough. But I feel like just rooting yourself in your faith is going to be so important. And that's something that I learned, like, through my small group, through my parents, through people that are pouring into me and love me. Like, they're like, you are good enough to be on the field with them. If you weren't, you wouldn't have made the team. You wouldn't have been in that starting lineup or given a chance to prove yourself. Like, you just have to root yourself and ground yourself in what you believe in and what God thinks of you. Like, He's putting you in this place for a reason. And that's just been a big aspect of how I live.
Yeah. I think that, Buford holds what we do to such a high standard. And there's also pressures, like, within ourselves. Like, we hold ourselves to such a higher standard. And I think, like, sometimes being let down by it, or saying, like, I'm just not good enough, I'm not, like, those are, like, a lot of internal pressures. So, like, there's a lot of external things that you want to live up to, but a lot of internal things that, like, people don't see. Obviously, like, just wanting to be the best at what we do, but knowing that there's so much more to improve.
Right.
And, like, a lot of people, when you see social media, you don't see the process, you just see the end result. so they don't see the internal pressures. They don't see the struggles and stuff like that. And I think that's such a big part in like who you become in the end.
For sure. It's like just loving the process. And like I love watching like the Netflix sports documentaries and like the Michael Jordan one is probably my favorite one. And it's just like loving the process, loving what you're doing behind the scenes, like when people aren't watching. It's like, how are you working to improve yourself? How are you working to perfect your craft? Like, and just like that's something that I take pride in, like not putting it out there and being like, here's what I'm doing, like I'm doing this better than you, but just like truly loving what you're doing.
Right.
And that has changed the game for me. Because through the recruitment journey, like that's an emotional roller coaster in itself. But I'm so grateful that I have my faith and that I have trust and belief in God, because I wouldn't have been able to make it through without him. But just loving the journey, like truly. And it's kind of cliche, but it is true. And it really did change the game for me.
Yeah.
Crunch time!
Catch the ball. Answer fast.
IHOP or Waffle House?
Waffle House.
Waffle House. Sorry.
Okay, starting lineup or closing lineup?
I'm gonna say starting lineup.
I would say starting lineup.
Yeah.
Gotta be real. Okay, team early bird or team night owl?
I feel like this one. Early mornings are sometimes rough for me, but I do like waking up early. But I feel like my nature is night owl. Like, yeah.
I'm most definitely both. I could wake up and have maybe 2 hours of sleep and function as a, like, I just live as both. It's, I don't know. My mom's the same way.
That's real. That's true. Okay. Last one. Protein chips or protein pancakes?
Protein what?
Chips.
Protein chips or protein pancakes. I love a good Kodiak pancake.
Yeah, I would say pancakes too. Like breakfast is my favorite meal of the day.
And so where can people follow you guys? What are your IG tags?
I think my Instagram is maryella.davis.
And mine's Ella Pierce H. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Ella Pierce H _ I think.
Thanks for watching.
We gotta grow bold, man, we cannot hesitate. We are athletes for Christ, man, we gotta go all out. We are athletes for Christ, man, we gotta go all out, all out. I will wear apples, I'ma take fights. I will go gather me, I like